Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin saw a massive correction, basically for 5 months. Very extensive stuff from the middle of November all the way downwards. Bitcoin went from 110,000 all the way down to 74,000. A slow kind of war of attrition on the Bitcoin charts, just slowly going downwards and downwards and downwards. And progressively, you saw less and less greed, less and less hype in the market, which of course is not a very favorable environment for altcoins to flourish within. That's one of the reasons altcoins have been put in such a bad position here. But now Bitcoin's ticked to the upside again. It's broken from its descending wedge. It's renewed some degree of strength, and it's shown people that, hey, look, the bull market's not done yet. Hey, look, we're going to start attacking all-time highs. That's kind of what Bitcoin's showing. It's showing that it's still alive. It's not dead yet. And that's good to see, especially in wake in some of the uncertainty we're seeing in traditional markets. But the big question is, will altcoins recover? Because altcoins, unfortunately, have seen very, very huge amounts of damage in this period of time. When Bitcoin's been going down here in this slow correction, it's really altcoins that have taken the blunt force of that blow. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Will altcoins recover? What are altcoins looking like? What should we be doing about altcoins here? We'll discuss all of this today, looking at the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, looking at the Ethereum BTC chart, looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and then looking at the cycle as a whole on Bitcoin, and then finally comparing the Bitcoin chart to the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, overlaying them on each other, and getting an idea of how altcoins actually move and how they react to Bitcoin. It's very important to understand this. A lot of people don't know what the market environment is that allow altcoins to flourish within. It's very important to know that, because this cycle we're seeing a massive deviation from that optimal altcoin market environment. So lots to discuss today, but we'll try and keep it under about 12 minutes. Let's get into it. Before we get into it today, guys, we have an exchange here that has never been hacked before in 3.5 years of being on the market. That is global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and use this exchange without a VPN. And furthermore, with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life, as well as $8,000 plus USDT in trading rewards added to your account as trading bonuses for signing up with my referral link down below. This is big stuff here. It's an excellent deal. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me. I don't get paid by them. The only thing I get is a referral link. And if you want all those things I just mentioned, which you should, trust me, I've done the scouting of the market, you can use my link down below to sign up. It takes 30 seconds and you'll get those rewards and bonuses, and you'll help out the channel. I appreciate that, guys. Let's get into the content. Right, so Bitcoin's broken up. This isn't a Bitcoin video. I just want you to know Bitcoin's broken up. It's back in its prime macro range. It's attacking its POC on the volume profile. Overall, we're seeing some pretty bullish price action on Bitcoin. We're seeing some relief in the Bitcoin chart. We're seeing some renewal in faith in the age-old 4-year cycle, which still is sticking around, still is hanging in there at this point. Of course, the 4-year cycle is best identified via date range trends. So basically, we know from the historical data that there are multiple trends within a larger umbrella trend called the 4-year cycle that predicts date ranges from tops to tops, bottoms to bottoms, halvings to tops, halvings to bottoms, and essentially gives us a pretty good idea of when Bitcoin will be topping out and when Bitcoin will be bottoming out in Bitcoin bull markets and bear markets. This is the strongest trend Bitcoin has. It's not just a crypto thing. It's supported via the presidential cycle theory. It's supported by also a 4-year cycle theory that exists in the traditional markets and an 18.6-year real estate economic theory. The fact of the matter is this is a very broad global economic trend that just happens to illustrate itself with the 4-year cycle on the Bitcoin chart, but it's not just a Bitcoin thing. And that larger cycle that basically encompasses all markets basically says that Bitcoin will be topping out in around Q4 this year, probably around October, right? Until proven otherwise, until we see definitive evidence that Bitcoin is in a aggressive downwards trend and a bear market, which we can get evidence from Bitcoin breaking below something like 70,000, but that's another video, that's another topic, then we have to assume to some extent that the 4-year cycle is still alive. And we know that Bitcoin is the leader of the cryptocurrency market, and hence it is the leader of altcoins. And so the way Bitcoin behaves basically either allows or doesn't allow for altcoins to flourish. That's the fundamental truth. Altcoins are of absolutely no value or utility without the market environment provided to them to flourish by Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's not doing the right stuff, altcoins will not move no matter what. Obviously, I'm speaking generally. Obviously, there are exceptions. But if we're just speaking generally, which is what we're doing in this video today, altcoin seasons, right? Periods of time when Bitcoin dominance is tanking to the downside and hence altcoins are rising much faster than Bitcoin. they only have ever happened in Bitcoin bull markets. So it's only ever happened, right? Altcoins pumping, altcoins going 100x, right? Meme coins flying in the sky. That's only ever happened when Bitcoin has allowed it to happen. And what I mean by that is when Bitcoin has pumped first. So Bitcoin's health and what Bitcoin's doing and the structures that Bitcoin is forming is absolutely critical to the altcoin market. Altcoins are fundamentally nothing without Bitcoin for that reason on a generalized scale. And I think the thing that people are not understanding about this cycle so far, people are asking, well, why aren't altcoins doing well? Why are altcoins getting wrecked? Why am I altcoin bagged so much? It's simply because, in my view, the Bitcoin environment this cycle has not been optimal for altcoins, right? Historically speaking, and I discussed this in my last altcoin video, I'll discuss it again, and then we'll get into some new stuff here. In the last few cycles, we've seen Bitcoin skyrocket to the upside with very little room for correction and consolidation. And the corrections we do see are very sharp, very aggressive. They go 30, 40% downwards in a matter of weeks, but we're back in the sky again within a month all the time, right? These tiny little drops downwards followed by massive moves to the upside. It keeps the market interesting. It keeps hype and engagement high. This happened in 2017. It happened in 2020. It happened back here in 2013. The problem with this cycle so far for altcoins is that we have not seen that same level of hype and engagement. We have seen sharp moves on Bitcoin, yes, but instead of being followed by very short corrections and consolidations and then another sharp move, they've been followed by months and months on end of consolidation and correction, right? It started back here in 2023. We went upwards aggressively, and by March 2023, we entered a 6 to 7 month consolidation that only ended in October. All the hype that gets built up in that initial move slowly dwindles and dies off when you see a 7 to 8 month consolidation. People who are investing in altcoins do not have the patience for that. And we've seen that 1, 2, 3 separate times now. 3 separate times, the market has disappointed altcoin investors and provided an unfavorable market environment for altcoins to flourish within. Fundamentally, the market environment that Bitcoin has taken on this cycle has just been horrible for altcoins. And that's been illustrated very, very clearly with the Ethereum BTC chart. So this is a chart measuring the strength of Ethereum against Bitcoin. Of course, Ethereum is the leader of the altcoin market. And so if Ethereum's doing bad against Bitcoin, it just means altcoins are doing bad against Bitcoin fundamentally. And you can see the Ethereum BTC chart just on a slow decline from 2022 and specifically from 2023, which is when that first big consolidation on Bitcoin happened. It's just been ramping to the downside exponentially with no sign of relief whatsoever. Same thing on Bitcoin dominance, right? Where we were meant to see the start of an altcoin season. Back here in November. Historically speaking, that is when altcoin seasons have begun. They've lasted 315 days from the start to the end of the cycle. And obviously the end of the cycle is going to be around October. Therefore, we should have seen an altcoin season start in around November 2024. But instead of seeing an altcoin season start in November 2024, what we saw was Bitcoin take on yet another massive sweeping consolidation / correction, which provides a terrible market environment for altcoins to flourish within. And we saw the start of altcoins starting to do well, and then people got very, very bored, and you see Bitcoin tick to the upside against altcoins once again as altcoin investors run for the hills. Looking at the Bitcoin chart overlaid with the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, which is the altcoin market cap chart, a chart that measures the dollar value of the altcoin market, we can further validate some of the claims I've made in this video. We can see that, generally speaking, Bitcoin just moves first. All right, always Bitcoin moves first. Bitcoin moved first in 2017. Bitcoin was pumping massively before altcoins even started to take off. Altcoins only started to take off 3 or 4 months before the top was in 2017, right? It's Bitcoin that led the market there. Same thing in 2020, right? Bitcoin ramping up, and that exponential move in altcoins only starting, a few months after Bitcoin started moving. Bitcoin was consolidating, and then altcoins finally topped out after a few weeks of Bitcoin consolidation, right? So same thing over and over again. If the chart went further back, we'd see the same thing in 2013. The fact of the matter is this time, it just hasn't been like that. And what you've seen, and we can really get a good understanding here with data and confirm it, is that when these big compressions and consolidations happen, Bitcoin in that consolidation went down 33%, but the total 3 went down all the way 39-40%. And this one has been absolutely groundbreaking. This is when we've really deviated, because this is when altcoins were meant to start moving, right? Around November. That's when altcoin season was meant to begin. When Bitcoin went downwards 30% over the last 5 months, the altcoin market has gone down about 53%, right? That's the deviation right there. And that's caused basically by a boring Bitcoin market environment. So I suppose the question is, will altcoins see an altcoin season this time? Will they see a recovery? And look, we're seeing some signs of the total three getting back some strength. For example, we broke down from a very big momentum shift line here. There was a 2.5 long support line in the RSI. We broke down from it. We're getting back above it now. That's good. We're also getting back above the 50 EMA on the daily chart for the total three, which acted as support here, resistance here. It's good to see a break above it. Again, we could be swinging to the upside on the total three, but basically what we really should be asking is, are we going to swing to the upside more aggressively than Bitcoin? Because that's what an altcoin season is. It's all well and good altcoins going up, but if they're not going up more than Bitcoin, why would you even bother touching them? Because they're much higher risk inherently, and so you need higher reward to justify getting in them. And unfortunately, it's just an impossible question to answer. But at this point in time, if we are running with the thesis that Bitcoin has taken on a new way of behaving, which is strong move to the upside followed by extensive consolidation, followed by strong move to the upside, extensive consolidation, we know that is not a favorable market environment for altcoins to flourish within. And if it continues, altcoins simply will not flourish. So this could be, unless something big changes for Bitcoin, unless it takes on an entirely new shape, which is possible. Every cycle is different, right? It is possible that Bitcoin can revert back to what it's usually done. But unless we flip back to what we've usually done on Bitcoin and have a more engaging structure of price action, more aggressive moves to the upside with shorter and more aggressive corrections rather than these drawn out consolidations, we can't really expect altcoins to do what they've done before. The market environment right now is simply not favorable for altcoins. That doesn't mean altcoins won't go up. It just means that unless something big changes for Bitcoin and how Bitcoin behaves, we won't see what we've seen before. We won't see these sweeping altcoin seasons. So fingers crossed that Bitcoin can start doing what it's done in prior cycles for the sake of altcoins, because the altcoin market is honestly what makes crypto so engaging in a lot of ways. Bull markets are not known for their Bitcoin pumps, they're known for their altcoin pumps. That's where all the attention comes from. So if Bitcoin can't manage to revert back to what it's usually done, we could see a dramatic decreased amount of interest in crypto as a whole, or maybe it'll take on a different form or something like that, but we'll see. I mean, look, the problem with this cycle so far is that we're seeing a massive amount of institutional interest in cryptocurrency as well, and that is slowing down the market and maturing the market quite heavily. And so it could be slightly unrealistic to expect Bitcoin to do what it did in 2017 or 2013 or even 2020 to some extent, because now it's more mature. Hopefully I'm wrong there, because I obviously want to see hype and engagement as well, but we'll see. There's nothing I can really say. I can just outline the situation and explain to you what's going on. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you soon. So we have an exchange here that has never been hacked before in 3.5 years of being on the market. That is global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world and use this exchange without a VPN. And furthermore, with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life, as well as $8,000 plus USDT in trading rewards added to your account as trading bonuses for signing up with my referral link down below. This is big stuff here. It's an excellent deal. I reached out to them for partnership. They did not reach out to me. I don't get paid by them. The only thing I get is a referral link. And if you want all those things I just mentioned, which you should, trust me, I've done the scouting of the market, you can use my link down below to sign up. It takes 30 seconds and you'll get those rewards and bonuses, and you'll help out the channel. I appreciate that, guys. Let's get into the content.